Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. Uh, Warm welcome to all of you after Diwali, after Diwali break. So now we will be continuing, okay, the discussion. Now we will be starting the discussion on chapter 5. As you know, we discussed in the last lecture that till chapter 4 we saw essay 315, 330 in practically how to create a response for the assessed risk. Okay, so we discussed in detail that in last lecture, and a request was from my side to please go through the study material before start of the next lecture, so that when I'm discussing, you have a good clarity of what topic is being discussed. Okay, so today we are going to start with chapter 5, that is audit evidence. Okay. Now, generally, your chapter or chapter 5 audit evidence covers six different type of essays. Okay. It's based on the six different topics. So if I talk about chapter 5, it is based on six different topics. First one is your essay 500. Very important and the base for the audit evidence. Then you have essay 501. That is the audit evidence for the specific considerations. Then you have a essay 505. You have a external confirmations. You have a essay 5010. Okay. It is again opening balances, how to collect audit evidence regarding opening balances. Essay 530. Collecting audit evidence through audit sampling, and essay 550. Collecting audit evidence regarding related party. Okay. These are the five different areas that the chapter will cater to. Now, whenever I talk about five different areas, okay, basically the logic is same. There is no difference in the logic. Logic will be same for all the things, but they are just catering a bit different area. Now, the target, the objective of the audit, of the auditor in all these areas is to gather sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. When I talk about audit evidence, the objective of auditor is to design and perform audit procedures in such a way that the auditor is able to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to draw conclusions. Okay, that's the main objective of the auditor throughout the chapter, you can say. And even on the similar lines, we have seen objective of the auditor for all the related essays and the chapter that we discussed. Okay, now starting with essay 501, essay 500, sorry, essay 500, audit evidence. Okay, so what is essay 501 basically talking about? Why we need essay 500? Why we need essay 500? What is the need of essay 500? So before I go to that particular thing, I'll ask one question from you guys, and the answer, let's see what answer I'm getting. But so the question is, let's say, for example, you are auditing a company, you are being appointed as the auditor of a company. Auditor of XYZ Limited. After clearing your CA exam, you went and you were approached by XYZ Limited, and they want you to be an auditor of the company. Okay, for the financial year 22-23. Good, great. The first audit in your life as a CA that you started. Now, during audit, management prepared a calculation for booking of sales commission. Okay. So basically, sales commission, they wanted to calculate the sales commission, or say they prepared a working calculation. Sales commission was calculated based on sales carried by agent, okay, multiplied with different different percentage, that was slab wise percentage, slab rates of commission. Okay, so what they did is they had these data, sales data done by the each agent. They multiplied that sales data, with the percentage or slab rate of the commission. So there were multiple slab rates, like if you do 0 to 100 sale, this much percentage, if you do this much, this much. So various, slab rates, various rates were there. It was a very complex working. Okay, so I'll say this is a complex working. This is a complex calculation, not simple one. Fine. Now, this calculation has been given to you. This calculation has been given to you. Okay. Before you perform any audit procedures, before you perform any audit procedures or any testing, rather, not audit procedures, before you perform any testing on sales commission file or sales commission area, what procedures you will perform on the data provided by management. Again, so they have provided you a data, they have provided you some information of sales commission calculation on the basis of which they have booked the sales commission. They have given you that data. That's a very complex calculation. Now, before you test any sample or before you perform any procedure, okay, any testing on the sale commission, what procedures you will perform on that data itself? Come on, guys. What procedures you will perform on data, on that data itself? Come on, quickly. What procedures you will perform before starting the testing on that data? Come on, guys, quickly. Good, Tanisha. Good, Sayed. Okay. Good, Shailesh. Good, very good. Now, okay. Now coming to like on the basis of your answers, let me tweak a bit. This working is prepared by Mr. J, who is expert hired by management. This working is prepared by Mr. J, who is an expert hired by management. This calculation, I'm just adding additional data. This calculation includes certain assumptions which are critical to the calculation taken by Mr. J. Okay. So this working is prepared by Mr. J, who is the expert hired by the management. This calculation contains certain assumptions which are taken by Mr. J and are critical to the calculation. Now you tell me, okay, what difference is now you will be there in your procedures upon the data. Come on, guys. Very good, Tanisha. Very good. So you are saying assessing the reliance to be placed on the work of the expert and the knowledge of the expert, including the basis and relevance of such professional assumption. Very good. Excellent. What else? What you will perform, what procedures you will perform before you accept that data. Before I take that data for the further testing, what procedures I will perform on that data? Discuss with Mr. J. Good, Salish. What else? What else, guys? What else you will do on that particular data? Now, Mr. J is into the picture. Anything specifics to Mr. J? Okay, let's say for example, the moment you receive this calculation, what questions you will ask or what things you will check in this calculation. Let's say I give you this calculation that okay, sales into percentage of commission. Now, sales done by agent into percentage of commission. What questions or what procedures you will perform on that particular working? Let's talk practically. Good, Tanisha. Assessing the professional competency and capability of Mr. J. Very good. But let's say, for example, when I'm giving you this calculation in your hand, okay, Excel, I gave you that Excel file. Okay, fine. What questions you will ask? What things you will check? Come on, guys. Very good, Gio. So you will ask, how did you arrive at the sales data? What is the source of your sales data? What else? Come on, guys, quickly. The correctness and accuracy of the calculations. Good, Tanisha. Good, Anup. Source of data. Shruti. Sales. Then agreement. Verify the rate. If it is not discounted rate, very good. Absolutely good. Okay. So you guys are very good. Like anything else you guys want to add over here? Anything? Anything, guys? Any other thing? What assumptions has been taken? Authenticity of the agent. Very good. Very good, Tanisha, Shruti, Geo. Okay. So let me tell you with an example. Okay. So let's say, for example, I'll show you one calculation, and on the basis of that, we can, discuss and, like take the discussion forward. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, this is a hypothetical example. This is the calculation that I was talking about. Okay. This is a calculation agent wise that I was talking about. Now, the first question you may ask about the source of the data. What is the source of this particular data? Okay. I would say, okay, tell me. I'm just writing the questions over here. Okay. Whatever we have received till now. So the first question will be source of data. Very good. Okay. Second, authenticity of agents. Okay, fine, very good. Okay. Then verify the rate from where the rate is coming. So rate verification, that is also good. What assumptions has been taken while calculating the commissions? So you know why different rate and what is the purpose of assumptions kind of. Then what else? Correctness and accuracy of the calculation. Okay, accuracy. Then okay. Now these all questions that you guys have posed upon. Okay. Now apart from this particular question, I would, let's say for example, let's say okay, I change this calculation a bit. Okay. Now what I do is instead of this calculation, okay, on sales, I add something else. Or for example, management is giving you one more column in this calculation. Purchases in front of that sale. Okay. Purchases in front of that particular sale. That is something the data is management is giving you. Let's say hypothetical example, it is coming to 80% of the, all the sales. So this is the data that has been provided by the management. Each agent sale, or instead of purchase, I will make it COGS. Rate and sales commission. Okay. So this is the data that has been given by the management. Now, the first question that I will ask, okay, is definitely on the source data that is there. That where is coming, what is the reason, what is the source of the data that you are picking up? Number two is the rates, obviously. Number three is the agents, whether the agents are there. Number four is the accuracy. Now, when I talk about accuracy, so I will verify this total sales with general ledger or trial balance. This should match. This sale should match to my trial balance. And if this is a commission this book, then this also should tie to trial balance. I'll verify the rates, basically the rates which are appearing over here. What is the background behind the rates, from where they are coming? Okay. Then if this is prepared by someone, then I'll come to that part. But if it is not prepared by someone, it is prepared by the management, then management might give you, additional information in this particular working. Management might give you additional information in this particular workings. As a result, like for example, COGS. As a result, this particular area, COGS, is relevant for me whether this is relevant for me. Do you think this COGS is relevant for me? Do you guys think that COGS data is relevant for me? Yes or no? Yes, no. Whether the COGS data is relevant for me? In calculation of sales commission, do you think COGS data is relevant for me? Good, Tanisha, very good. Good, Sayed Ali. So, see, that is now when I say this COGS data is relevant for me or not, that means that I am asking or raising a question on relevance. Relevance of the data. Whether the data is relevant or not for me before I go and proceed any additional testing or not. Okay. When I ask question on rate verification, assumptions, and all those details from where they are coming, I'm asking detail or questions on reliability of the information. Okay. So when I ask questions on these areas, it's nothing but a reliability I'm checking of information. So there are two parts. One is raising questions on relevance, raising questions on reliability. So now summarize, if I summarize everything over here, if I summarize everything that we have discussed till now, that is the requirement of my essay. 500. Essay 500. First of all, if I talk about the essay 500's requirement, the first requirement of essay 500, if I give you, so essay 500 is saying that the objective of the auditor is to design and perform. The objective of the auditor is to design and perform audit procedures in such a way to enable the auditor to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to able to draw reasonable conclusions on which to base the auditor's opinion. Means sufficient and appropriate audit evidence we are talking about. Now, what is sufficient and appropriate audit evidence? When I talk about sufficiency, it's the quantity of the evidence. And when I talk about, appropriate, it's a quality of the audit evidence. So, this is the quantity and the quality I'm talking about of the audit evidence. Okay. Now, the auditor is required to design the procedures in that way that is it's appropriate for obtaining sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Means I need to design audit procedures in a way that is appropriate in the circumstances. And while designing the audit procedures, okay, while designing the audit procedures, I need to think about first of all two areas. While So our objective is to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence by designing and performing audit procedures. So while designing audit procedures, auditor is required to verify things. When designing and performing the audit procedure, the auditor shall consider two major things. First is the relevance of the data or the information. Second is reliability. Relevance and the reliability of the information to be used as audit evidence. If there is any information that is we are going to use as audit evidence, then information to be used, for that information we need to check relevance and reliability. The Excel working here I'm talking about, basically it's an information that I'm going to use as an audit evidence. I need to check reliability and the relevance. So when I talk about reliability, I was asking all the questions on source, authenticity, assumptions, accuracy, from where they are coming, rates and everything. But when I'm talking about COGS, I'm talking about raising questions on the relevance of the data. So relevance and the reliability are the two important pillars for the data, for the information that I'm going to use as an audit evidence. Are you getting my point? Okay. Second, once I establish the relevance and the reliability of the information, that is I'm talking about information. Now, at times, information has been prepared by the management expert, the way we saw in our example, Mr. J. Okay, and it is not easily, we can verify the relevance and reliability because there are assumptions. How will you verify the relevance and the reliability of the assumptions? Okay, so while designing the audit procedure, if information is prepared by the management expert, which includes your assumptions, then in that case, as an auditor, what I'm required to do is the questions that you raised were correct. I need to first check the CCO of that expert. So CCO of the expert, that is competency, capabilities, and objectivity of that expert. Now, I'll give you an example with respect to competency, capability, and objectivity of that expert. I give you few scenarios. Okay, for Mr. J. Let's say Mr. J, in scenario 1, Mr. J is one of sales agent. In scenario 2, Mr. J is recently passed graduate. Third, Mr. J is son of managing director. Now you tell me, in all these three scenarios, how much you are comfortable with the working prepared by the Mr. J, and what is the risk in each scenario? Where is the risk in each scenario? Like what kind of risk you feel? What kind of risk you feel in each of the scenario? Like for example, in scenario 1, I feel that this kind of risk is there. because Mr. J is this. In scenario 2, I feel this kind of risk because Mr. J is this. So what kind of risk you are feeling, what risk you are, thinking that it will be there in each of the scenario. Come on, guys. What kind of risk do you feel that it's there? Come on, quickly. Now, in each scenario, there is some kind of issue. What that issue is, and what is the risk in that scenario? In scenario one, Mr. J is one of the sales agent who has been hired by the management as an expert to for certain calculations. Come on, guys. Very good, Tanisha. Amazing. Very good, Gio. What else, guys? I have received two answers. Wonderful answer, Tanisha. Come on, quickly, guys. It could be a question, in exam itself. Okay, I'll tell you here. Now, when I talk about these scenarios over here, I can say there are some, issues with these scenarios. Number one, if Mr. J is one of the sales agent, I'm damn sure he's going to, there is a higher risk that he's going to inflate his own sales commission, or he's going to, manipulate his own sales commission. There is a higher risk. Okay. So I can say that he might not, okay, act objectively because there is a bias. There is a conflict of interest. So objectivity is something which I can say is impaired over here. Fine. Number two, Mr. J is recently passed out graduate. So if he's a recently passed out graduate, the complex calculations, the assumptions, I doubt he has the nature and the level of expertise required to do the calculation. So in that case, the question comes on the competency of the expert. Third, Mr. J is son of managing director. Now, if he's a son of managing director, okay, there are chances that the questions comes on the capability. Now, when I say capability, capability is the ability of the expert to exercise the competency in the circumstances. Maybe because of I mean, because due to time and resources, because of the objectivity, because of the influence. Okay, I could say capability of that particular Mr. J, or again it may be objectivity. One of them can be there. Okay, so there can be issue on these areas because Mr. J is the son of managing director. For sure, there are high chances that he might end up showing the estimate or the sales commission on a favorable side of the management. On the management side, favorable side. Okay, if that is a scenario, then there is a high chance of objectivity and capability questions. So, if these are the scenarios and I have a question on these, so a standard says that no, first you verify these three things. CCO, that is competency, capability, and objectivity of the expert, and then you proceed further with respect to your working and your information that has been provided by the management expert. The second step, the standard says even, or it's a logical. Okay, I understood everything is fine. The question that you are asking, from where the source data is coming, from where the rates are coming, accuracy, everything. So it talks about obtaining and understanding of the work performed by expert, of the work of that expert. So you need to obtain understanding. Third, then you need to evaluate appropriateness of the expert's work. Evaluate the appropriateness. Why? Let's say, for example, in our case, in our this working, what if the the sales commission is not calculated based on the sale, but it is calculated based on the COGS. You evaluated the CCO, that is the competency, capability, and objectivity. You understood the working, you obtained an understanding, but now it's time to evaluate the appropriateness of the expert's work. He has done calculation of sale commission on COGS instead of sales. Now what we will do? So I need to evaluate the appropriateness of the expert's work, whether it is appropriate or not for me. Evaluate the appropriateness of expert's work. Okay. Let's say, for example, my risk with respect to sales commission. Okay. Let's say hypothetical example. The risk that I had in sales commission okay was sales coming from normal channel were booked in names of agent. Are you understanding this risk? Sales that were coming from the normal channel, okay, normal company's channel were booked in the name of agents so that the agents can get the commission. Now for that, management provided me this calculation, sales agent commission wise calculation. So do you think this information is helpful for me to to address this risk? I can gather some evidence for this particular risk. So do you think the information that the working of the sales commission is somewhere helpful for me to understand whether this risk is there or not? What do you say, guys? So, do you think the risk I have in the currently in front of me, the sales commission working can address that risk? I can get sufficient and appropriate audit evidence from the sales commission working to address this risk? Yes, no. You might be thinking I'm asking a lot of questions, but trust me, audit is all about asking the questions. Professional skepticism, keeping alertness. Good, Kriti. So this sales coming from normal channel were booked in the names of agent. For that, management gave me the sales commission working. That please verify. You can verify whether the sales which is coming from normal channel were whether booked in the name of agents or not from the sales commission working. Do you think that is sufficient for me? Very good, Tanisha. Very good. Very good, Tanisha. What else, guys? Anyone else? Okay. Now, if that is the case, okay, the question comes is whether the working is appropriate for the relevant assertions also or not. So when I say evaluate the appropriateness of experts' work as an audit evidence, I'm talking about not only for your testing, but for or kind of when I talk about appropriateness means appropriateness as an audit evidence for that relevant risk and assertion. So in this case, the risk is that sales coming from normal channels were booked in the name of agents. Now the working will never ever give me comfort on this particular risk. So I need to evaluate the appropriateness as an audit evidence for that relevant risk and assertion, not only the work that is performed by the expert, but as an audit evidence for that relevant assertion and risk and assertion. Now, when I do all these things, okay, when it is, whether the internally generated evidence, whether it is generated by the management expert, then once I, get this data, sometimes it is known as IPE, okay, information produced by the entity, IPE, that is information produced by entity. Now, when I get such information which is produced by the entity, means this particular report, let's say this is a system generated report, depreciation working, these are the system generated reports. So kind of, for example, I'll say system generated report. Let's say the working is system generated, not prepared by the, expert. In that case, still I am required to evaluate whether the information is sufficiently reliable for my purpose. Okay, reliable for auditor's purpose. Okay, and I also need to check the relevance of that information again. Reliable and relevance. Plus, after checking this, I need to see accuracy and completeness of the information. Time total to the trial balance, that's the completeness and accuracy I'm talking about. And whether it is, sufficiently precise and detailed for my purpose, that is the relevance of the information I'm talking about. Now, let's say, for example, okay, this particular example I have taken. Let me revert it back to the original calculation. Okay. Let's say the total sales commission for the year is this much amount, 21 lakhs. Last year, so I'll give you some comparative numbers. Current year, last year. Sales, sales, commission. Okay, in current year, my sales commission is this much. In current year, the sales is this much. Last year, okay, last year, let's say the sale was uh, this much amount. Okay, and the sales commission was this much amount. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, just a minute. Let me change a bit.
Playing from Harshad PC.
Okay, so this is the current figures. Now, last year, current year figures. Okay, over here. What, while auditing, what I understood is the sales has, increased in compared to the last year, decreased in compared to the last year. So sales has, decreased in compared to the last years, but the sales commission has increased in compared to the last years. Okay, the sales has decreased, but the sales commission has increased. So you tell me what question you will ask over here. If I ask you, okay, this is a thing, this is the area, what question you will ask? What is the issue you are seeing in this particular data? What is the risk? What is the question that you might ask here? Come on, guys. Very good, Kriti. let's say you went to the management and management said, okay, there is a decrease in sales because sales agents has not performed it well. So the sales agents have not performed well. That's why there is a decrease in sale. So the reason for decrease, sales agents has not performed well compared to last year. That's why there is a decrease in sales. And when you ask for the commission rate, there is no change in sales commission rate. Okay, there is no change in the sales commission rate, but the reason for decrease in the sales is, the sales agents have not performed good compared to the last year. Good Charu, good Manoj, good Sayyid. Now the reason for the change is something you got through inquiry from management. Through inquiry with, when I say management means you got an you did an inquiry with the chief marketing officer, and that chief marketing officer provided you this information that okay, the sales agents have not performed well this year. There is no change in the commission rate, and that's why there is a impact on the sales we can see. What will you do in this scenario? Yes, sir. I will ask the same question. Good, Sayyid. Yes, the same question I will ask. If I talk about on an average, the commission percentage on sales has increased from 9 to 14. This is based on the data that you have received. This is based on the inquiry through CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. What you will do? Inquiry giving you different things, data giving you different direction. What you will do now? What you would have done in this scenario? Let's say you did an inquiry, you received one particular answer. Now you have a data. The data shows you different scenario. What you will do now? What you will do in this scenario? Very important. Okay, Kriti. Good. Anyone else? What you will do now in this case? So the simple thing is this particular area is the one part of the calculation, or one particular evidence, I would say. Not part of calculation, but evidence. This is one particular evidence that I received through inquiry. When I go and see this particular portion is a second portion of my evidence which is coming from the data. Okay. So this is based on data. So there is a scenario, data versus inquiry. So I am saying this particular scenario here is data versus inquiry. And usually these scenarios where two different evidence are in contradiction to each other. Okay. When two different evidences are in contradiction to each other, okay, is usually referred as, inconsistency, or, kind of doubts over the reliability of one of the audit evidence. So I can say either one of the audit evidence is not appropriate. Either data is wrong or the inquiry results are wrong, because there is a conflict, there is an inconsistency between two different evidences. So I could say this particular thing is a not, it's, kind of inconsistency. I have a doubt over the reliability. I can either place a doubt over the inquiry, or I can either place a doubt over the data. If there is such a scenario when I have a doubt, inconsistency over reliability of the audit evidence, what should I do? Doubt or inconsistency over reliability of audit evidence. In that case, auditor is required to modify the audit procedures, okay, in order to gather more audit evidence, which can resolve the doubt or inconsistency. For example, hypothetical example, here the CMO was saying there is no change in the commission rate. But hypothetical example, if I went and checked some agreement, some sales commission agreement, and found that there is 20% increase in commission rate compared to last year. Means I checked some agreement, I performed some audit procedures, additional audit procedures, okay, that additional audit procedure is a verification of agreement, and I identified that, okay, this data is in line with, okay, in line with other audit evidence that I gathered by checking the sales agreement. means this inquiry is incorrect. If this inquiry is incorrect, or the person has not provided me the accurate data over here, I cannot rely upon the inquiries that are performed with CMO. I need to go back and ask why you provided me wrong information when I did an inquiry with you. This becomes not reliable. And I need to change my audit procedures accordingly. Correct, Tanisha. Correct, Manoj. Very good. So, when there is a doubt or inconsistency over reliability of the audit evidence, I need to modify my audit procedures to gather more audit evidence, like checking the sales agreement or something like that, which can resolve the doubt or inconsistency, and accordingly, I need to further amend my audit procedures. Clear? Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Any doubt, guys? No? Okay, clear. Good. Thank you, Tanisha, Salish, Gio, Manoj. So that is all about my SA 500. General SA 500 talks about audit evidence. That's it. Audit evidence while designing the audit procedures. Audit evidence if the information is prepared by the management expert. Audit evidence if it is the information produced by the entity, and audit evidence when there is a doubt about the audit evidence. Okay, that was SA 500. Now coming to the next part, that is SA 501. Audit evidence specific considerations. Now, this is again, more on a practical side because it covers few practical areas which are important in during the audit. So again, you can expect a lot of questions that I will answer, and I'm sorry for that. Okay, SA 501. Audit evidence specific considerations for selected items. Now, this basically covers three different areas. One is the inventory. This caters, when I say selected items, which are the selected items? So, when I talk about selected items, are inventory, litigation and claims, and third is segment information. So, when I talk about selected items, these are the selected items. Okay. Now, when I talk about selected items, now what this essay talks about, essay has a specific requirement to obtain an appropriate audit evidence. I'm not talking about all the inventory. No, everything related to inventory as a risk for me. No, no. I have a specific risk that is being talked about over here, and you will tell me the assertion for that particular risk. So the risk, there is a specific risk in each of the category that we will discuss. First, when I talk about inventory, existence and condition of inventory. We will talk about existence and condition of inventory. Second, when I talk about litigation claims, I'll talk about completeness of litigations and claims involving the entity. And when I talk about segment information, I talk about presentation and disclosure of segment information as per applicable financial reporting framework. So these are the specific risks that we will target today. Okay, we will discuss today. Now, when I talk about existence and the condition of inventory, existence and the condition of inventory. Insert new pages. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, okay, again, you are being appointed, you are auditor of XYZ Limited. Okay, it's a multi-brand chain retail store. Okay, multi-brand chain retail store like Lifestyle. Uh, then you have a Big Bazaar. Examples. These are certain examples of multi-brand chain retail store. Okay. So not exactly that one I'm talking about, but some examples like Shopper Stop, Lifestyle, Big Bazaar, and you have other on the similar lines, Home Center. So multi-brand chain retail store where you can you can get a lot of items at one particular place. Reliance Retail, kind of Geo stores and all these stuff. Okay. So that is the one area. You are audited for particularly this. Okay. Shruti, just 5 minutes more, then we can take a break because I just want to discuss one important point because we are in a flow. So once you are, let's say, has been appointed as an auditor of XYZ Limited. Okay. Now, this store has huge inventory. Huge inventory. Huge inventory. I'll again repeat, huge, very huge inventory part. Now, how will you know, check the existence and condition of the inventory? Because, SA 501 talks about existence and conditions of this particular huge inventory or any of the inventory. So, how will you verify the first existence of the inventory? How will you verify the existence of the inventory? Good, Tanisha. Very good. Come on, guys. How will you verify the existence of the inventory? Simple. One simple question. And the answer is pretty much easy. All of you have done this. I know. All of you. All of you have done this. Verification of the existence of inventory. Good Geo, good Kitty. Pretty much simple that I'm talking about physical testing and physical verification. That's it. Physical verification. I'm talking about physical verification of the inventory. Okay. Second is the condition of the inventory. How will you verify the condition of the inventory? Whether the inventory is in good condition or in bad condition. How will you verify the condition of the inventory? Expert opinion, okay, Mohammed. Verifying the closing inventory, good Manoj. What else? How will you verify the condition of the inventory? Again, the answer is pretty much simple. Trust me. Very good. Check the reports of expiry dates of the inventory if they are applicable. Good Geo, very good. Let's say in Big Bazaar, okay, kind of store is there where there's food items, lot of food items. Now, how do you will check the condition of the inventory? A lot of food items are there. Multiple stores across India containing multiple food items. How will you check the condition of inventory? Let's say the date is perfectly fine. Do you know the inventory is kept in good condition, like it is not, the packet is not open, torn, or leakage, spillage, and some kind of other issues? How will you identify that? Checking good condition in case of cold storage, very good. Properly arranged, properly kept, very good, Geeta, very good, Tanisha. And if I give you a simple one-liner answer, is again physical verification. So I will perform physical verification for condition and existence both. Okay. Test checking. Very good. And physical verification will do the test check. Very good. Very good, Gio. So when I talk about existence and the condition of the inventory, I'm talking about physical verification of the inventory that I understood now. So one of the area that standard takes me to wants me to take care is the existence and condition of the inventory. For that, what I need to do is physical verification of inventory. Now that is the starting point of the discussion. Why? Because now I know what I need to do, but I need to understand how I need to conduct physical verification. What? I got the answer, but how? That I need to understand. This is kind of what to do, but how to do is something we need to understand. Okay. And before I jump, how to do, let's take a quick 10-minute break. After the break, we will see how to do physical verification. Okay, let's take a quick 10-minute break. Ashok ji, Ashok ji. Hello everyone, welcome back. Okay, so we were discussing about what to do, physical verification of inventory. How to do that is something we need to see now. Okay, before I proceed, the question comes to you guys. When you are doing physical inventory count, how will you conduct that? How to do physical inventory count? Like you can you list down certain points, certain areas where you need to pay attention or auditors focus is required while performing physical verification of inventory. And when I say what to do, physical verification of inventory can be done by you only or can be done by management. So what is the scenario over here, and how you can get conduct a physical verification? Come on, guys. So how to do physical verification? What are the things you need to take care while doing a physical verification of inventory? How will you start your physical verification of inventory? From start to end, if anyone can be, just summarize the process quickly, like, with few words, start to end of physical verification of inventory. Good, Tanisha, on-site site attendance of physical verification. Okay. Physical verification done by auditor. Good, good, Geeta. But how will you conduct physical verification on site? Like what you will do? I cannot, just go, okay, on site, I'll start physical verification. Okay, I'm there to physical verification. Let's start physical verification. There will be some things you will do before going on site. Then there will be some things you will do on site after going that particular place. Some items, some checks or something like that. Kind of a process. Good, Kriti. Very good. So auditor has to check whether there is a statement of inventory prepared by the management for physical verification. Without that, you cannot physically verify the inventory. Till the time you don't have the list of inventory, how will you verify the inventory? What you will verify? So management has to give you some list. So first you need to demand their verification list. Okay, if it is done by the management, then you need to demand their verification list. Good. Then you will compare the available quantity with their ERP system quantity. Good, Charu. Good, Geeta. What else? I took the list. I know what I did is, let's say I'll start writing. Obtain the list. Obtain the inventory list. List from management. Then I could say visit the site. Now what else? What else? Like I visited the site. Now check the inventory. How will I check? Compare quantity available with ERP quantity. So check quantity available with system quantity. Okay, fine. What else? Come on, guys. What else? If it is done by the management, then this is something as of now we are saying that okay, it is done by the auditor. Physical verification done by auditor, but yes, we need to cover physical verification done by management also. So Mohammed, yes, it in scenario if it is done by the management, auditor has to observe, and I will come on that point. Verify the sample box is ready for dispatch. Good. Okay. Verify inventory, like check quantity available with the system quantity. Okay. Coordinate with the person who is doing the same. Okay. So kind of you can say if I talk about coordinating with the person, then I need to contact the person. I need to decide what how the physical verification is done, what is the scenario and everything. So I need to contact the person. Coordinate with management. Then checking for the method used by management to the physical count. Okay, let me create one bifurcation here. This is the this is the physical verification by auditor. Then I have a physical verification of inventory by management. Okay, as of now, we are not discussing management part. We are just discussing auditors part. Coordinate with the management. What else? Very good, Tanisha. Obtain external confirmation for inventory at third party. Okay, or perform count there. Fine. Very good. What else? Okay. Now we were talking about obtain the inventory list from the management and performing physical verification of the inventory by the auditor. Now let's say you perform this physical verification. Management gave you the date and everything. So the date is 28 to 2023 and you are looking for financial year FY 22-23. Now the date on physical verification is being performed is 28 to 23. Now what? Date of physical verification 28 to 2023. Does this make any change? Does this require any further procedures or is it relevant or not? Very good, Tanisha. Very good. It appears that you have went to the material in detail. That's very good. Good, Mohammed. Very good. Come on, guys. Good, Kriti. So I am saying date of count is 28 to 2023. Your financial year is FY 22-23 for which you are auditing. Does this make any difference with respect to the physical count? Good, Geeta. So if the sale, if the count is on 28 to 2023, then as you know, like mentioned by Mohammed, Kirti, Tanisha, and Geeta, that I need to check the sales happened afterwards. I need to check for the stockpiling difference among the between the date of physical count and after date of financial statement preparation. We need to check till 31st March 2023. Okay, kind of, you know, additional procedures required, okay, for identifying the changes in inventory between the count date and the date of financial statement. So additional procedures to verify the inventory movement from count date to FS FS date, that's the year end. And usually in common terms we call this as a roll forward procedures. Inventory roll forward procedures. Okay. Now, let's say for example, hypothetical example that we were discussing, inventory count date 28/2, it's not 28/2, it's 28/5. Will this make any difference now? I have counted inventory on 28/5/2023. Financial year same, 22/23. What I need to do? What I need to do? Same procedures. This time I need to just go back. Instead of going forward, I need to go back. Okay. So I need to perform additional procedures to verify the inventory movement from FS days to the count date. Okay. Instead of going forward, I will go back. And usually when I go back, I call that as a rollback procedures. So I need to check transaction between 31st March and 28th May. And I need to, account for that. I need to, go back from 28th May to 31st March to get the inventory balance. Now that is very good, Mohammed. Very good, Kriti. Good, Geeta. Good, Charu. So that is something I'm talking about, inventory count performed by the auditor. Now, I will be talking about inventory count performed by the management and what is the role of auditor in that scenario. Inventory count performed by management and what is the role of auditor at that particular point in time. So let's say physical verification of inventory performed by management. What you will do? Is it important for you if any of the physical verification is being performed by management? Is it relevant for you as an auditor? Come on, guys. When the count is being performed by the management, what you will do as an auditor? Is it relevant for you? Okay, let's say for example, let's say management is saying that okay, on 20th Feb, I'm going to perform a physical count. 28th Feb, they are going to perform a physical count. And they have invited you with invitation card for their physical count. Invited you to be present with all the wishes. So they have invited you at the physical count. What will you attend the physical count that is being performed by the management? Good Sailesh, good Kriti, good Geeta. Very good Charu. Very good Tanisha. Very good. Now, yes, we will attend. We are required to attend that physical count. That is for sure. Auditor will attend. But now, what auditor needs to do when he attends the physical count, that is, we need to understand. Okay. Very good, Geeta. For checking their control, we need to attend. Okay, it is relevant for us. So now we need to understand what we need to do while attending the physical count in detail. So when you are attending a physical count that is being performed by the management, what you will do? So I think Tanisha, you are saying that we need to observe the method used, assess the relevance and reliability to be placed on such method. So one is a method for counting that is used by the management. So method for counting, method of counting. Okay. What else? What I need to do? Like, okay, now I'm there on the physical count being performed by the management. What I will do? What I will do? Come on, guys. What I will do? I'm there as a physical count. Now the management is conducting a physical count. I'm there to observe. But what I will observe? One is method. What else? I'll just observe the process here, what they are doing. The person is coming from there, the person is going there, he's counting, taking, and whatever. They just observe. Or there is any specific thing that I need to pay focus on, pay attention to. Good Manoj. I might carry out my own sample check along with them. Okay, sample check with management. Okay, I may ask management, okay, now it's my turn. Let me do a sample check along with you. Okay. The interval physical counting and there was stock preparation. Okay. So preparation of stock statement. Great. What else? Controls adopted. So I think physical count it's itself a control. Physical count of inventory by management is in itself a control. What else, guys? Missing very one important thing here. I'll give you a hint. This word over here, who. This is your hint. So very good, Geo. Count figures. are the same as the count written in the document of physical checking. So kind of documentation I will verify, whether, the count is appropriately recorded. Okay. Means I will observe the performance of management count. Okay. Observe the performance kind of. I need to observe what they are writing, whether they are writing correctly or not. Observe the performance. What else? Very good, Tanisha. Very good, Preeti. So I need to check about slow moving or non moving. Instead, I should write the full word. Slow moving and non moving or damaged inventory. Very good. So, very good, Tanisha. The competency of the personnel performing the count. Very good, Selesh. Knowledge and experience of the responsible person. Very good, Mohammed. The person doing the requiring the requisite expertise. Very good, Gio. The storekeeper is performing the count, or who is performing the count? So, who is performing the count? Who is performing the count? Okay. Let's say, for example, you know, the question was who is performing the count, correct? Now, sorry, I don't know how this is a straight line, but okay. The question is who is performing the count. Now, the thing is, let's say, for example, there are some people who are coming from outside, performing the count. Let's say some officers of the corporate officers. Now, the question comes is how they were performing the count. Let's say, for example, hypothetical example. Okay. This one, we were talking about this XYZ Limited over here, multi-brand chain retail store. So let's say, for example, for performing the physical verification, management asked, I'll give you two scenarios. The following person to perform the count. I'll give you two scenarios. Scenario number one, store manager. Scenario number two, corporate accounting officer. Or instead of accounting, let's say, for example, corporate, not accounting, I'll say treasury officer. Corporate treasury officer. Now, what is the problem in both of them, if any? Again, what is the problem in both of them, if any? If management asks, like in first scenario, store manager to perform the count, in second scenario, corporate treasury officer, what is the problem? If the management has asked these people to perform the count, in first scenario, store manager, in second scenario, corporate treasury officer, then what is the problem? Manoj, in which scenario? In scenario 1 or scenario 2? Okay, Tanisha, very good. So, what is good and what is bad? What is the risk in both of the scenarios? Which should be opted? Like, okay, for example, it's scenario 1, store manager is performing the count. Scenario 2, corporate treasury officer is performing the count. What should be, the preferred way? And where is the, like, what scenario is good and what is not? And the question comes is, in which scenario, what is the risk we are talking about? Very good, Charu. Very good, Manoj. Very good, Tanisha. So you all agree to this that there is a issue of objectivity, or instead of objectivity, what I write is, sorry, in simple terms, reviewing his own work. That is very good. Like, I cannot allow store manager to review or to perform the store count, because he is the one who is maintaining inventory records. He is the one who is required to, maintain store, and then I'm asking him only to perform a count. That's useless for me, totally. Now, the second scenario, corporate treasury officer. Now, the question comes is, he's a treasury officer. He deals in the bank account. How he will know to perform the count? How he will know to perform count? That is a risk for me. Like, he is a guy who is dealing in, foreign exchange, in bank accounts, in money. But how he can perform the count on the ground with the goods and items that are lying in the inventory? So, with the second scenario, how will you tackle the second scenario? Let's say I'm sending an IT guy to perform the count, very independent of everything. IT guy. He is a IT guy. He is going and performing the count. But how he can perform the count when he is not aware about the products? The person who is aware about the products, who has a knowledge of the items, is a store manager. Are you getting my point? Let's say remove it, treasury officer from here. If you want independent person, like, some of you gave an answer that there should be independent person. I'm giving you corporate IT/database officer. He is a person for responsible for the IT. I'm sending this person for the inventory count. I cannot identify any other person independent than the IT guy. Even I can send HR also to perform the inventory count if you want independent. But the question comes is how they will perform the inventory count when they don't have the knowledge of the inventory. Come on, guys, answer. How they can perform the inventory count with when they don't have the knowledge of the inventory of the or the count process? How a corporate IT database officer or a HR officer can perform the count when they don't have the knowledge of the inventory count, items, or procedure? How you can help them? Very good, Manoj. Very, very good. How that person will come to know that how many samples are required to be taken in an inventory count? Very good, Mohammed. On what date the count is required to be performed? Let's say, for example, while counting, we do a ABC analysis, but how that person will come to know that all these things are required to be done? From where he will come to know about that? Let's say, for example, I'm sending this person. Okay, this is the correct answer. I'm sending the corporate and database officer to perform the count. As an auditor, my question, understand my question. As an auditor, how will I get a comfort that the corporate IT or database officer has performed the count appropriately by considering all the methods, all the details that are required to be considered during the count, including the sample that is required to be selected, ABC analysis, the date of the count, the procedures that are required to be performed. How, as an auditor, I will ensure that that IT guy or whosoever has performed the count has ensured that, has followed or done appropriately. If the count is being done by the management, I don't expect CEO, CFO to come down and perform the count. I will expect an independent officer. He might not have the knowledge of the count. I have only received one answer from Mohammed. Very good. Second answer from Manoj. Very good. How? How can I make myself as an auditor comfortable with the count performed by the IT officer? What I need to do? There is something that I can do to get the comfort, but what is that you need to answer? I can still send the IT officer to perform the count, but there is something additional I need to do so that he can perform the count appropriately. Anyone? Absolutely correct, Kriti. Very good. Pretty simple. Trust me. There is not a rocket science I'm talking about. It's a pretty simple. I am talking about only one thing, that is count instructions. Kind of SOP, checklist, guidelines, instructions, how to perform a count. A document with a title, how to perform a count, steps below, give it to the IT officer, ask him to perform these steps, get it done. Count instructions, how to perform a count. DIY, do it yourself. That how to perform instruction count, a kind of document I will give it to him as a management, and I explain everything in that document. Expect him to read that document, perform the count the way it is written in that document. Do you think it is logical? Yes, it's logical, correct? Now, as an auditor, if I want to take a comfort that whosoever has performed the count, whether he has performed it correctly or not, two things I need to check. One, how he has performed the count. Number two, what was written in this instruction. What was written in this? Okay. So I need to go and check what is written in this count instruction. How many samples, the method, the way, whether it is clear or not, when to start, when to end, what is the date to pick, what are things to be focused upon, what are things to ignore. So these instructions given by the management to the employee for performance of the count are very, very, very crucial for me. And as a result, my starting point, whenever there is a count being performed by the management, instead of method of counting, when I wrote the method, I will be calling at a evaluating instructions provided by management, which will include the method also. Okay, which will include the method, the sample, and everything. Even what is the responsibility of the store manager during the count, what is the responsibility of the counting officer, and everything that will be covered in that particular document. Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt, guys? Can auditor ask other person other than the store manager to count the inventory? Who am I to ask? See, either I can perform a count or either management can guide a person to perform a count. Okay. Now, if management is saying sending someone to perform a count, I need to first check who is performing the count, whether there is a issue with the objectivity and everything. Number two, how he is performing the count, what instruction has been given by the management. Okay. If use then preparation of the stock statement, observance of the performance, sample check, slow moving, non moving, damage, everything. If you see all these things, that is sufficient and that's a requirement of SE. Trust me, this is a requirement of SE. I'm not talking about something additional. Whatever we have written, whatever we have discussed is written in essay also. That's pretty much logical that you are required to do during the count. And that's only written. Now, there is only one area that we have not discussed. That is, what if the count, is not possible or you cannot attend the physical inventory count? What if the auditor is neither able to attend or nor he is able to perform count? Okay, in this scenario, what is required to be done? Like, what if the auditor is neither able to attend nor he is able to perform the count? What he should do in this scenario? This is the classic case when I say I don't have sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding the existence of the inventory, existence and the condition of inventory. That is, not having sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding existence and condition of inventory. What should I do? Pretty simple. Good, Tanisha. Good, Shruti. Very good. But let's say, for example, if like neither of the audit team member is able to go, including articles. So if auditor is not able to go, including his team members, including articles, then what to do? So neither of that audit team member or expert is able to go to that particular place because of XYZ reason. Let's say the place is very far. Management informed a day before. Let's say, for example, you are in Chennai and management asks you to visit the count next day morning, early morning in Kashmir. Kind of that scenario. or you are not able to, perform your count also. Very good, Kriti. Very good, Tanisha. What else, guys? What he should do as an auditor? So, if auditor is not able to visit or not able to perform the count, what he should do means I don't have a sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding the existence and condition of inventory. What should I do? Neither of my team member, neither of any of your, my expert are able to go over there. So they are not able to go to that particular place. Because of XYZ reason. Like, as I said, the reason could be various reasons, but they are not able to go at that particular place. So what should be done now? Okay, I'll give you some options. Number one, perform alternate audit procedures. Second, modified opinion. Third, other matter paragraph stating that the count is performed by management and we have relied on that. Okay. Fourth, I will include key audit matter as a difficulty to perform count. Fifth, I'll obtain written representation, and that's it. No reporting. Along with that, no reporting. So these are your options. What you will do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you will do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 options. What auditor should do? Come on, guys. 1 to 5. Okay. Good, Tanisha. You are saying 1 to 5. Okay. What else? Anyone with a different answer? So one of the answer I have received that 1 to 5. Option 1, 2, and 5. Good, Geeta. Okay, so you are saying option number 3. Very good. Come on, guys, what else? One and four, good Charu, Shruti 3 and 4, Salesh 1 and 2, various answers. Good. I'm happy that you guys are at least trying and that I want. My objective is, to discuss and I want you guys to try. Because the thing is, uh, by trying, at least we can, understand what is our thought process. Okay. And I'll give you with a reason why, which is the correct answer over here. So the correct answer is 1, 2, that's it. Not 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2 is the correct answer, not 3, 4, 5. I'll tell you with the reason why. So whenever I'm not able to get any audit evidence, I need to perform first alternate audit procedures to gather audit evidence. Even still, if I'm not able to get audit evidence, I need to modify my opinion considering the impact of not getting audit evidence on my opinion. Why not other matter paragraph? Because it's my responsibility to issue the opinion. If if let's say hypothetical example, if where let's say I'm not able to perform the count and my count is being performed by management, I just include in other matter paragraph, okay, count has been performed by management, I'm relying on that. I can do same for other items also. Then why not cash? Why not trade receivables? Why not fixed assets? I can do for entire balance sheet. That okay, balance sheet has been verified by management, I have relied upon that in other matter paragraph. Amazing audit, correct? No, I cannot do that because at the end, it's my responsibility to issue the opinion. I cannot take, reliance upon something being performed by the management. It's something, okay, financial statement being prepared by the management, I'm asking them to audit them. So, financial statement prepared by management, they are the only one are auditing. How can I do that? Because that's something, they are reviewing their own work. They are issuing an opinion on their own work. That is incorrect. So other meta paragraph, not correct. Key audit matters. Difficult to perform the count. Key audit matters when I will discuss is one of the important part of the key audit matter is we are able to resolve at that. So key audit matters are something which were difficult to perform, but we were able to get audit evidence in the end. Okay, if I am able to get sufficient and appropriate audit evidence after performing additional procedures, yes, I can include in key audit matter, provided there are other conditions. But if still I don't have sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, that is something an area which I was not able to resolve that will never come in CAM. That is the first criteria of the CAM that observations are not part of key audit matters. If there was a potential observation which you were able to resolve by getting audit evidence, or if there was a difficult area where you were able to get audit evidence, yes, you can include in CAM. But if there is an observation, misstatement, issue which you have identified, which management is not agreeing or whatsoever, if there is an observation which requires a modification, that will never come in CAM. And the last is written representation because it has no value for me. Written representations is just like, last resort, but in this case also, when the standard is specifically saying that I need to take evidence regarding existence and condition of the inventory, written representation will never give me, any comfort. It is same like, I enter into other matter paragraph that count is being performed by management and I am relying on that. It's on the similar lines. That's why 3, 4, 5 will never give me a comfort or will never discharge me from my liability to issue an opinion. Are you getting my point? Pretty much straight that I need to perform alternate audit procedures. If I'm not able to get alternate audit procedures, not able to get still evidence, modify the opinion. Even instead of modifying, I can issue a disclaimer of opinion because there is in cases there could be a inherent limitation on the audit that I'm not able to perform the count. At times, will management will stop you from performing the count or from attending the count. Instead of the invitation we saw this time, at times management never tells you that they are going to perform the count, or they never allow you to enter in their warehouses. At that particular point in time, that will be inherent limitation, and that will result in disclaimer of opinion. That is everything about the inventory that we need to discuss. Existence and the conditions of the inventory. Any doubt with respect to inventory? Any doubt? Existence and condition of the inventory. Any doubt? Any doubt, guys? Quickly. So we can move on. Litigations and claims. Okay, good. So let's move on to litigations and claim. So when I was talking about litigations and claim, the question was completeness of litigations and claims. Okay. So I'll write it here again. I'm sure this will not take that much time. We will be able to resolve this pretty easily. Okay. Now, if I want to ensure completeness of the litigations and claim, okay, what I need to do? Direct question. Like, okay, I asked you, please verify the completeness of litigations and claims. What you will do? How you will ensure completeness of litigations and claims? If I change an example, if I ask question with the example, let's say for example, management received a demand notice from okay Green Tribunal of India for violating pollution norms, and that was never disclosed to auditors or to you. Amount is rupees 250 crores, and no provision has been made in books. Okay. Third, let's say total sales for year are rupees 200 crores. If this is a scenario, as an auditor, you as an auditor how you will identify this. Means management never told you that there is any such demand and anything. How will you identify this? Very good, Mohammed. Very good, Salish. Very good, Tanisha. Come on, guys. What you will do? If this is a scenario, what you will do? Like, how will you ensure the completeness of the claim and the litigations? Let's say I'm talking about this demand of 250 crores where the company has a sales of only 200 crores. Why management will provide you that detail? Okay, so Salish, you are saying that discuss with the management. Perfectly fine. I'll write it. Discuss with management. Fine. What else? Mohammed, you are saying check with the internal legal team. Check, or I would say inquire internal legal team. Okay, fine. Then very good, Tanisha. That check all the legal expenses. Check the legal expenses. For example, if you are seeing, lawyers being hired, and some lawyers like environmental lawyers are being hired by the company, or expenses like paying retainership fees or some amount to the environmental lawyers or lawyers expert in that particular field. The question might come into your mind: why the company is paying to them? What is the need to pay to them and that much amount? So, and you will ask question that, okay, why the company is paying to lawyers? What is the need to pay the pollution lawyer, lawyers expert in the environmental law, and that much amount? Because if the demand notice is of 250 CR, the lawyer will charge, that much amount. So, if that is a case of that critical nature, you will see that kind of expenditure in the P&L. And they cannot hide the expenditure because they have to pay the money through bank account. So check the legal expenses, litigation expenses, very good. If any litigation expenses are there, very good, Yedugundalu. Review the meetings, minutes of meetings. Then, very good, Kriti, verify legal documents. Then, very good, Tanisha. Uh, Ask for a written confirmation from legal counsel, external legal counsel. So send confirmation to external legal counsel. Okay. So if you are sending external confirmation to legal counsel, then they might tell you something. Okay. So these are the areas. Fine. Now there could be two scenarios out of this. One, rather three scenarios. One, you identified undisclosed litigation. You identified undisclosed litigation. Number two, mm, uh, everything is good. So there is no such undisclosed litigation, means everything is fine, is good kind of scenario. Okay. Management has not hidden anything. Number three, not able to get sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, means either you are not able to send confirmations, either you are not able to review the meetings, or any of the things you are not able to perform. That's why you are not able to get sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Now let's discuss the first area, that you identified an undisclosed litigation. Okay, you identified an undisclosed litigation. What you will do? First area, that you identified undisclosed litigation. What you will do? Okay, I'll discuss with management. Okay, good, Yadivondaru. I'll discuss with the management, or uh, uh, with those charged with governance. Good, Tanisha. Okay, for reason of non-disclosure and seek solution. So I'll discuss with the management for reason. What else? Determine the impact on financials. Okay. Determine the impact on financials slash, there is one more item that is there we need to understand. Provision in FS to determine the impact. Good, Edukandalu, good, Gita. So I need to determine impact on financials, and there is one more item where I need to determine the impact, which is that I need that is something we need to understand. What else? Determine the impact on financials. Correct, Tanisha. Correct, Edu Kundalu. So, required, if required, modify the opinion if required, modify the opinion, okay, based on disclosure requirements or reporting or reporting requirement based on applicable financial reporting framework. If required to be reported and management has not reported, then modify the opinion. What else? Impact on going concern. Yes, very good. Impact on going concern. Notes to account. Yes. One last area, that is, determine the impact on financials and audit risk assessment. Why? I'll tell you the reason. The reason is, if there is one such case that you have identified is hidden, there could be further such cases. So you need to, modify your risk assessment, and you need to accordingly focus on these areas. So if you identified one issue, there would be multiple. So determine the impact on financials and audit risk assessment. And then, if required, modify concept, impact on the going concern, and all this, the necessary stuff. Yeah. So that is if you identify. If everything is good, everything is good. There is not to do, not required further, no actions required. And if you are not able to get sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, simple, modify the opinion. So this is how you are required to ensure completeness of the litigation. Clear? Any doubt? Pretty much easy. The last part of this particular, essay is what was that? Presentation and disclosure of segment information as per applicable financial reporting framework. So I need to ensure that the segment information is appropriately disclosed as per the financial statement, as per the financial reporting framework. Presentation and disclosure of segment information as per applicable financial reporting framework. I need to ensure this particular thing. So these are the specific areas that I need to cover. Okay. Now, if there is a segment information available, okay, that is segment information is there, then how will I ensure presentation and disclosure of that? So for example, in our case, multi-brand chain retail store, okay, in that case, or let's take a real example rather than going with this particular made up example. Let me take a real example. Just give me a minute to open that. So I want to take with a real example instead of this is made up example. So I will take a real audit report, annual report, and from there we will see how to verify that. Segment information. Just a minute. Hedge accounting, liquidity risk, reconciliation, fair value, capital management, condition liability. Let me check for a segment. Segment reporting. Over here, segment information. Note number 39. Okay. Now this is the segment information which is given for a particular company. I have randomly picked the company name, not publish, not doing a publicity of a name. So please do not focus on the name. That's a randomly picked particular one. Okay. Now, how can I ensure this segment information which you are seeing over here is as per applicable financial reporting framework? Now, management has prepared this segment information and segment grouping. How you will make sure that this is, as per applicable financial reporting framework, and this is the presentation and disclosure of this segment is appropriate. What you will do? Okay, very good, Tanisha. Very good. First of all, I will understand the applicable financial reporting framework like NDS 108 AS 17. Very good. Nature, relevance, and ability of method used to present and disclose the segment information and use of analytical procedures. Uh, can you bit clarify this one? Tanisha, can you bit clarify the one that you just written? For rest of you guys, how will you ensure this segment information that is prepared by the management is correct? If I ask you, okay, this is a segment information given by the management, validate this, audit this. How will you audit it? What you will do? From tomorrow, I am giving you segment information to audit. You are now the auditor of this particular company. How will you audit the segment information, which is disclosed in the financial statement? Very good, Tanisha. Very good, Kriti. Very good, Mohammed. So, Kriti, very good that I need to cross verify the totals with the financial statement. Okay. Let's say for example, 891 over here, that should tie to my P&L. What else? Mohammed, very good. I'll refer NDS for applicable financial reporting framework. Yes. What else? Very good, Yedugondalu, that I need to obtain appropriate and sufficient audited evidence with respect to financial reporting framework. But how? That is the question. Good, Salish. NDS is followed or not followed? Yes. What else? What else I need to do over here? Uh, Yedugondalu, like what procedures you are referring to? Can you give some example of the procedures that you are referring here? Come on, guys. What else I need to do? What else I can do over here? I need to audit this particular segment reporting. How can I audit? Very good, Charu. Verify the supporting documents and supporting reporting figures. But how? That's why I'm asking. How? Now, what? See, I need to verify the numbers. That is for sure. But how to verify? What things I need to focus upon to verify the numbers? Very good, Kriti. Differences properly reconciled or not? As per guidelines of NDS, number of matches with number of total number will match with the complete trial balance. Very good, Manoj. Take all segments in the financial statement. Very good. So yes, good, Geeta. Very good. What else? As you know, like Geeta, you said, take all the segments of financial statement means I will ensure these segments. I'll obtain understanding of all these segments that could come that are presented to ensure all the segments are taken. So analytical procedures like I need to take the highest contribution in the percentage to the overall revenue through analytical procedures. Very good, Tanisha. Very good, Manoj. Previous year segment reporting, a base for me. I can go through the previous year segment reporting also. Revenue, profits, assets of various segment, compare it with the financial statements. Very good, Yedugondalu. CODM report. Okay, Manoj. Yes, good, very good. So then what I will do is the revenue, all these things which are bifurcated between various segments, I will ensure what is the method of the bifurcation, how they have derived these numbers, how they have bifurcated, derived the numbers, the amounts between segments. Okay. Then third, the whole segment that I am looking here, whether as per financial reporting framework or not. What is the requirement of financial reporting framework, whether it is as per that or not. Then what I'll do is, last one is, I will perform testing of certain items over here. So testing the application of such methods for the bifurcation or testing of items, I can call it. Let's say, for example, let's say interest. I will pick up the interest. I'll see how they have bifurcated the interest between the different segments, and they will provide me a logic. Okay, based on this, we have bifurcated. I'll do recalculation. When I say testing, I'll do re-performance, recalculation. Okay, to check whether the allocation done by the management is correct or not. I may perform analytical procedures. Okay, calculating, see, analytical procedures, segment revenue, segment profit, segment, GP percentage, NP percentage, kind of, to understand segment liability, segment asset, some analytical procedures. So if I do all these things, I'm ensuring the presentation and disclosure. So I need to ensure presentation and disclosure is appropriate or not of segment. So by this way, I can ensure the presentation and disclosure. That is, first I will verify the segment information in the financial statement, means type of segments. When I say segment information, I'm referring here is type and number of segments. Number two, understand requirement of applicable financial reporting framework. Then only you will be able to understand whether it has been followed or not. Number three, method to calculate the segment amount. Fourth, perform some testing. Fifth, you may perform analytical procedures to validate certain numbers. Okay. So sixth, understand the when I say understand the requirement of applicable financial reporting framework. Along with that, I'll write it here only. Verify the compliance with that. So once you understand the requirements, check whether the compliance to that requirement has been done or not. So this is how you can verify the presentation and disclosure of segment information as per applicable financial reporting framework. Any doubt, guys? Any doubt? And this is the end of SA 501 specific areas. So we covered inventory, we covered litigations and claims, we covered segment information. Selected items selected items had their specific risk, and this is not voluntary. Understand this thing. We need to consider these risks in our audit mandatorily. And if applicable, let's say for example, if segment is applicable, we need to make sure the presentation and audit for the presentation and disclosure of segment information is done. When the inventory is material, we need to make sure that the existence and the condition of inventory is checked. We need to ensure that completeness of the litigations and claim is required to be done, because these are significant risks. These are the risks which are of, which could result in high material misstatement if materialized. That's why we need to every time, whenever we are doing the audit, we need to consider these. So mandatorily, we need to consider these risks. So question is, what analytical procedures can be performed? Let's say, for example, segment wise, if I talk about, okay, over here. Now I know that the GP percentage of oil and gas will be lower compared to the retail, or will be, digital services will have a higher GP percentage. So, by this way, I can identify the GP. Let's say, for example, oil and gas. Oil and gas would be having higher turnovers compared to retail or otherwise. Okay, it may happen that, okay, oil and gas is having, higher capital intensive, higher assets compared to digital. So accordingly, I need to see what is the segment asset allocation to all the categories. By doing analytical procedures, I need to go and check whether it is, matching, whether it is, on the similar lines. That is my expectation. Based on my expectation, if yes, then fine. Any doubts? Any doubt, guys? And this is the, if I tell you, we have covered the first two parts from the, six portions of our chapter 5, SA 500 and SA 501. In next section, I will be, I will be targeting 505 and 510. Any doubt, guys? Don't worry, Kriti. I will explain in detail the difference between substantive procedures and analytical procedures when I will discuss SA 530. At the time of 530, I will be, discussing analytical procedures also. So don't worry at that time. Generally, there is a essay which talks about analytical procedures. That is SA 520. So when I will cover SA 530, I will discuss some portion of 520 also, so that we can get a good understanding. I hope you guys are liking the lectures. You guys are, getting the things that we are discussing over here. understanding the concepts? If yes, do let me know. If no, if you need additional anything, if you need additional information, if you need something additional from my side, please do let me know. Do provide your feedback, guys. Okay. Okay, guys. If no further queries, no further questions, thank you, guys. Thank you for participating today. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you. Thank you, sir.